Good day, family. I pray that all is going well with you and your families. I'm coming to you today to stress the importance of our unity and how it's detrimental to our survival. I'm coming to you and I'll share a couple conversations with you as it relates to my purpose. I'm going to share some very transparent things with you all. Family, I've been ill for over a week. This past Saturday, I went and got tested for COVID. Tuesday, I received my results saying that I was positive for the COVID virus. I'm not saying these things for you to solicit empathy, sympathy. I'm saying it to you is because this pandemic is real. One. Two, in light of an illness, the mission and purpose that God has given me is greater than what the consequences of this pandemic. When I come to you all, I come to you all with passion, with love, with bringing us together in unity. Our unity, as it was taught to us, is more dangerous than an atomic bomb because our accomplishments, you wouldn't be able to fathom it. I'm sharing this with you because we have real life examples of what unity produces. What does it produce? Watch the Indian community. See how their unity and self-preservation is making them flourish and buying up communities. The same with the Arab community. The same with the Mexican community. The same with the white community. Everybody but us. We find all type of reasons not to unite. However, evidence shows statistically we are the community that has more money within our community, that we have more money that comes in our community more than most countries, third world countries and more. However, because we have a lack of unity and community, the money only stays in our community 6 hours. This is why it's easy for all immigrants, all other ethnic groups to come into our community and take from our community to go build their community because they have unity and we do not. So anyone can come in our community and set up shop. And they know that we are the biggest consumers in the world. But I was told a couple of things and I'll share them with you. Now, I won't reveal who shared them with me because these people are close to me and they meant well. I was told, Mike, when you're trying to bring our people together, don't go so hard on God, because people can misconstrue that as you trying to pimp them in the word of God because they have been pimped before. I get that. I receive it. Whenever I am giving critique, I humbly listen to the critique, assess the critique, and then make a decision moving forward. But my response to that is this: wherever my God is not welcome, nor am I. I was just told yesterday by a person that I know absolutely loves me. The intent was so well intended. Mike, when you make these videos, it can come across as desperate. I am. I am desperate to be used as a tool in my purpose, to be an instrument of bringing our people together. I am desperate. I will go on my deathbed to bring our people together, because we are not paying attention. We are being lulled to sleep. The calm before the storm is right in our midst today, and we use excuses of why we won't come together. Yes, we have been burnt by one another, but we overlook the biggest affliction, the biggest burning done to us overall. We don't know who we are. That was intentionally done. We were stripped of our ways, our culture, our God. Everybody else comes to this country, they speak their own language, they practice their own culture and customs, they wear beliefs and values. We don't. They have their own names, which is more valuable than gold. We don't. We wear our oppressors' names. We have been indoctrinated with our oppressors' thoughts and ways, and even to the point where their superiority complex that makes us inferior, we wear that well. I will go on my deathbed, family, studying Ezekiel. God talking to Ezekiel. Ezekiel complaining. I have piped them all day long that they won't listen. God's response is simple. That's fine. However, had you not warned them of their fate and their sins, I will require their blood on your hands. But the act of delivering the warning saved Ezekiel from being responsible and accountable for their deaths. Here I am. In July, family, I was introduced to a concept that I said, that makes sense. And I've been looking for this concept for many years. We go to family reunions, we go to funerals, we go to repasts, and we all say the same thing. Oh, we got to get together. We got to pull our resources, and we got to do something and create a family bank so that we can go out and buy homes together, apartment buildings together, so we can have our own. We just talk. We don't do it. And we make excuses of why. Black folks who won't come together. Well, you black, be the instrument. You got the heart and spirit to forgive everybody and every atrocity that happened to us, but we can't forgive each other. How sick is that? Oh, this is a scam. What you be trying to introduce us to, brother Mike, is a pyramid scheme. Stop. It's 300 years of chattel slavery, the biggest pyramid scheme ever to happen to a people. Work to can't see morning, to can't see night for nothing. For not even adequate sleeping quarters, not even adequate food, not even adequate respect as a human being. And we're still doing it. How are we doing it? What pyramid scheme we are at? You're working a job where somebody at the top is leveraging off of your labor. They are rich, they are wealthy, and we are surviving check to check. And some of us are not even surviving to that point. You're borrowing money against your check to come to be able to just survive. And so we get excited. Oh, he was the employee of the month. He was the employee of the year, and they may give you a plaque, and they may give you a day off. Ooh, they may give you a little bit more PTO time off, or what have you. Okay, good job, my good and faithful slave. Time out for the plan about our unity. Yes, we have offended each other. Yes, we have stepped on each other's toes. And yes, we have some healing to do. But we have the heart and spirit to forgive everybody else except for ourselves. So we look for saviors outside of ourselves. We look to see who's going to become our benevolent white leader to save our raggedy ass. I'm posting these videos, family. I'm not a politician. Don't give a damn about this democracy. Demo meaning demon, Crossy mean rule. I ain't supporting democracy. I support a theocracy. When somebody say, thus saith the Lord, then they got my attention. Theo mean God, Crossy mean rule. I didn't share with you all very delicately because I don't want to offend you. Don't matter who's in that seat. God has rendered his judgment on this nation and the world. And guess what? He rendered it based upon the treatment of a people who won't come together. He's rendering in your favor. You have experienced the most injustice, the most inhumane behavior in historical times. This pandemic is a plague. It's a plague. And after this plague comes famine. But guess what, family? We can survive it. How do we survive it? We come together. When I come to you all, I was the guinea pig. My friends, tight friends, I ain't gonna say family, but they are, came with me, and we benefited a lot by our unity. And guess what? Trying to get other Black folks together, we suffered a lot. So as much as we gained, we also lost because we were committed to bringing our people together. Look at the concept that came to life to most of our vision, because many of us didn't know about it. They said it'd been around for years, but the masses of us didn't know about that. It was called family and friends sharing. In that family We had to strengthen the family and friends. We wanted something for free. Yes, the reward is great, but the reward was not absent of work. What's the work? Going out and blessing other family members and friends, gathering your resources and circulating it amongst each other. That's the job. We do it anyway at a loss. Hey, cuz, they about to kick me out. Can you loan me a couple $100 so I can go ahead and get my eviction? Stop my eviction. All right, here, cuz. Guess what? Cuz, don't pay it back. Sister, don't pay it back. The same people you loaned the money to, when you get in the bind, they're disappearing. They don't answer their phone. So you doing it anyway, and then you use these excuses of why we can't come together instead of holding each other accountable. Because you know what? You ain't got to pay me back. But guess what? Let's build a pot together. Sister, let's build a pot together so that when we go through these things again, the pot is there and we circulate it amongst the family and friends. And so that we have it and we ain't going to get caught up with what you didn't pay me back. We're building from this point on. Have many of us got burnt? Yes. We didn't get burnt altogether because it was a scam. Did the scammers come into the community? Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't argue that because some people only know how to operate from that vein. But were all the people scammers? No. Our problem is lack of unity. We had too many communities trying to do the same thing and pulling from the same resources, and this enters failure. If the communities will come together, like it said, talking about the dry bones in the valley, the bones rattled, they shook, but they wouldn't come together. But if the dry bones come together, they will come together in exceedingly great armies. We don't have armies. We have a militia here, a militia there. This is what these communities are called. I'm saying this to you to say, wake up. I'm in Chicago. Chicago is now shutting down their restaurants and their bars. Most of the restaurants and bars didn't survive the first wave of pandemic. They haven't recouped their losses. And guess what? They're in another season where they're about to experience great losses, which means the unemployment rate will go up, is going up. And guess what? We're the bottom people on the rail. It affects us. Many of us do not have a reserve saved up to last 3 to 6 months. Like I mentioned before, many of us are living check to check. So we the one become high in the waiting line for evictions, for foreclosures, because we did nothing but cry about, well, I did this and this didn't happen. I joined this and that didn't happen. Did you do the work? Did the people that you brought in, did they do the work? What's the work? Building a real community. In most, not all, of the communities, the primary requisite thing you have to do is build the community. Well, I don't want to do that. Okay. You in the biggest susu in the world. A job. The owners of most companies leverage their wealth of your work and population of the people. The more people that's doing a job to make their company function, the more they receive. And the more they receive, they'll give you pennies. So stop with the language that's condemning yourself. You're a slave. If we pulled our resources together, guess what? Yeah, we can create our own jobs. And guess what you can do with that job that you created for your own? You can offer them profit sharing. You can offer them a voice. Buy into what you're working for. So not only are you working as an employee, now you graduate into ownership, where your voice and your vote count in the direction in which your company is going. We used to be slaves. Guess what? The master is about to set you free. The master is about to absolutely set you free, because this is the nature of human beings, self-preservation. Well, I'm good. No, you're not. Your seniority don't make you good. Watch the trends. I'm good. I got seniority. I'm good because I got the wherewithal. I got the knowledge. Look, if I owned a company, take black and white off a table. It's just simple knowledge. If I owned a company, and at the end of the day, when we're going through hard times, and I have to figure out, okay, who's going to survive? Is it going to be this guy who's not of me, not no blood or what have you? He's not of me. He may can do the job better than my loved one, but my loved one can do it to a degree that we're effective. I'm going to pick my person. That just makes sense. So if we're not the owners of the company, and your owner of the company first loyalty is to himself and his family, guess where you stand in line? You can get all the contracts you want to. You might be very thorough in what you can do with the contracts. But if the contract giver has a family member that is in need to circulate that money within the family, common sense of who that contract go to, no matter what your skills are, no matter what you think your education entitled you to. That's the first law of nature, taking care of self and kind. This last Tuesday, everybody was in this very celebratory spirit. I ain't knocking that. Change should be celebrated. But what are you celebrating? Just ask yourself. Truthfully, we should all come together. Beautiful speech. It had me thinking, man, that's beautiful. But how can we come together in a country that's divided? It's 70 million plus people who voted their interest in that will keep you more oppressed. So it's 70 million people that think like that. But the other 75 million said we should come together. The truth about the matter is we did come together. If it wasn't for us, that number wouldn't been that great. So us, the oppressed, the minorities, carried that race. But we carried the race for somebody else, not collectively for ourselves. We come together. I want you to think about this concept before I get off. In order for a community to thrive, for the property value to go up, the community has to have what they call associations. They have to have agreement. They have to be in uniform. You keep your grass clean, I keep my grass clean. You keep your house painted and tuck pointed. You beautify it. You can't take care of it. The more you take care of your property, the more I take care, the more our values either stay the same or increase. But guess what? We got one problem house in our community that's bringing down our property, right? What's the move of the community to eradicate that problem house? So we can't come together with the masses of the people until we clean up our house, clean up our issues in our community. Yeah, I want to get along with everybody in my neighborhood, but I don't get along with my household members. I find every excuse not to get along with my household member. Now that's hypocrisy. I'm gonna get along with neighbor Jed. I'm gonna get along with neighbor Sue, and all this stuff. But I don't get along with my family. In it, we having domestics. We fighting. The police is called to our home. We not taking care of our property because we saying it ain't my job. I did this. I washed the dishes, so you cut the grass. I took out the garbage, so you do. And everybody complaining what everybody else ain't doing and nothing is getting done. We have to come together inside our own households to be an instrument and a value to the community. But no, we want to join on to everybody else and go to their house and help them clean their house. You ain't wash dishes at your house, but you taking out somebody else's garbage. So I say to you, family, me and my friends, the program that we're doing right now, we're not doing it because we absolutely believe that this program is the be all in all. But we know one thing: doing nothing is the most irresponsible thing that we can do when it comes to our survival. No matter how emotionally distraught you are, no matter how much you think you lost or know that you lost, it's not going to deter the economic tsunami that's about to hit this country and this world. Pay attention. Things are starting to shut down now. There's no agreement in no parties right now of what the solution should be. And if any party has a solution, if it makes that party look good, the other party stands in the way because of foolish pride of what that look good may represent, what represents more votes, which represent them losing their jobs. So now it's job survival for them. And we become those who suffer from it. But if we don't have our faith in them, and we redirect our faith in us, knowing that we have been taught to be disunited, let's work through those barriers and unite. The program that we embarked on, I don't swear by it, but I believe right now it has the opportunity for us to come together, and it takes out a lot of the human error by being an automated system. But it still requires work. It still requires the population of people, and the dollar amount associated with it is so low that even when you just do the simplest things, what it requires, you receive your money back and you put yourself in a position to prosper. I'm not selling the program. I believe that it will work. What I'm approaching you all on is unity. Most of these things that we enter with, the process absolutely worked. We just didn't work it because unity is a foreign language to us in our behavior. Not that we can't say it, not that we can't chant it, but we can't walk it because we don't know how. You have to learn how to forgive your brother and sister for a better cause, for all of us to thrive. We didn't step on each other's toes. Yes, we have, but others step on our toes and we apologize. We don't even require them to apologize. We apologize. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have had my foot there. But for us, a true accident become your lifelong enemy. Family, when I entered the community, I entered the community selfless. Again, I have been diagnosed with COVID. This is not about personal gain. I'm thinking about my future, my children. I have to be the example of dying on my post to bring our people together for the longevity and the survival of our people. Yes, many of us was warned not to get involved. Know why? Do you know why? Because it was said, and we're proving it until we prove otherwise, that we're not mature enough for family and friends sharing because we lack unity. Well, we can change that narrative. We can. You cry about your losses. I don't know one person, not absolutely one person in the communities. There might be some, but I don't know that has lost more than me. And I'm still going at it, not for the money, to bring us together. Bottom line, our unity is the key to our success. When we become one, and I'm going to leave it at this, God will bless us with favor. But as long as we were operating on our own islands, you got this person losing their house, that person getting evicted, this person got their lights off, this person can't eat. Let me tell you something. After the pandemic, the scripture says this, family. These are just the beginning of sorrows. You got wars, rumors of wars. Look at the climate and all the calamities that happen, earthquakes in diverse places, fire, floods. God is very angry, and he unleashed the pandemic. Oh, y'all didn't hear the first wave? Y'all didn't come together the first wave? Okay. Second wave. But the second wave is about to encompass another plague called famine. When you lose your job, you don't eat. Right? So now famine. I'm sick and I'm hungry. We ain't got no choice, family. And with the illness coupled with famine produces chaos and crime. Because the first law of nature is self-preservation. So people are going to go for what hook or crook. The law-abiding citizens become a crook for self-preservation. But if we pulled our resources, while we got it right now, the twos and fews, and we begin circulating the money amongst one another, right? You can call it susu. You can call it family and friends sharing. You can call it crowdfunding, right? Call it what you like, but I call it none of these things happen successfully without the unification of people and the population of people circulating their dollar amongst one another. Bottom line, you can't get around it. You're in it already when you go to work. You're circulating your money with your company, and they're giving you the smaller dividends while they reaping the bigger dividends and giving you pats on the back. Good slave. You ain't called off all year. Let me give you a plaque. Well, I'm about to lose my house. Can I get a raise? Well, we'll talk about that later. But good job. Building somebody else's wealth. Biggest scam in the world, and we go around, and when we get secure in this thing that's falling and collapsing before our very eyes. Pensions are companies, pension funds are now failing because the workforce is failing. People, again, key word, people are the people that fund pension funds, 401ks. Absent of people, these things collapse. So you were introduced with a concept that you bring on the people with you, and it thrives upon yourself, and you reap the benefit of it personally instead of somebody else telling you what you're worth annually. So you rather be an employee, and this is your false sense of security, instead of saying, guess what? I'm going to come together and I'm going to employ myself by being an instrument of helping building the community. That's your job. Going out and getting your loved ones who you know are struggling. So I'm going to keep going at this thing, family, of building my people. But guess what? Building my people is nothing absent of resources. So we get a big crowd together and we just partying, we're not growing. But if we circulate dollars amongst one another, there's no more evictions. There's no more foreclosures. There's no more hunger. Because the community will not allow that to happen to not one of us. So many of us come into the concept get rich quick scheme and don't want to do the work. If you say that this amount of investment brings me this amount of investment bring me this amount of reward, guess what? The work is this amount. It's not absent of work. You have to do the work. What's the work? Build the community. I have had, by the grace of God, the beautiful opportunity to bear witness that building community forges bonds and create relationships that I never had before. People that would ride or die with me and I would ride or die with them. How? Because we labored together. And because we labored together, we were fortunate enough to reap the benefit of good relationships that transformed into gain. But many of my people that are transformed to gain too had the heart and spirit to go back after their people, which means they invested more time, more energy, and the profits of their gain to go get their people. So us crying about what we lost ain't gonna change what's about to happen. It's not. The most irresponsible thing to do is do nothing. I'm telling you, and I'm gonna give you these final examples before I close out. Study Sodom and Gomorrah. God didn't exact his anger and punishment until they began to party and they was lulled asleep in their foolishness. Same thing with Noah. Noah, family and friends were getting drunk, giving in marriage. They were partying. And the storm came. Look at us now. We on the internet, we shaking booties, we showing off vehicles that we can't afford and all this other stuff. And we just showing off. Storm about to hit us. So I say to you, family, humbly, the key to our survival is coming together. The key to our survival is trying. There's a Zoom meeting tonight. I'll put it on my Facebook page, just information for the Zoom meeting. All right? I don't get a dime from you personally by coming into the community that we are in right now. Personally, I don't get a dime from you. But what I do get is another person that I can labor with to help build a community so that we all can thrive. So I put the Zoom meeting out there tonight. I'm not going to beat you up about it. But I know the very same people, by way of my experience, that I tried to help. Time out. It won't be there for me no more. That's why I will get firm at. Your blood will not be on my hands. When I tried to get you to help yourself, you had every excuse. But when the storm hit, help me. No, I'm prepared. I ain't taking nothing out of my household. I prepare for me and my loved ones. And you had the opportunity. And now, here, no, kids, you can't eat. I got to go help somebody who I tried to help before. And they didn't prepare. Hell no. We got another program that we're going to introduce, but we're trying to see the maturity and how we mature. But this storm is about to hit hard, family. The wise economist saying by December, we be in it, and by March, we be in the thick of it. The worst depression in human time. Guess what, family? I put another video out there. This president can do all type of tricks not to concede and possibly stay in office even though he lost the election. The flip side of that coin is this. While he's in there to do things, what can he do to be more disruptive? Ain't our problem. Our problem is coming together, and no matter what he do, it can't affect us. But while we're disjointed and not united, everything he do affects us. So I am desperate. My eulogy will read that he died on his post trying to be an instrument to be used to bring his people together. Desperate for that. Because I want to see it before I go. But if I don't see it before I go, I want to know that I was instrumental in doing so. So join us tonight. The information will be on my page. The Zoom meeting will be on my page. I'm not telling you this company that we joined on to called crowdfunding is the be all to end all, but it's something better than nothing. And until we get that perfect thing, this might be it, but it may not. We keep pushing. But nothing works absent of going out and building a community, which means you got to go get people that you care about, that you're concerned about, and you circulate dollars amongst each other. When you want to know when it's a scam when somebody at the very top getting all the money and you getting the crumbs. That's the scam. Any system that comes about in the beginning, this is our biggest faux pas. In the beginning, it has a lot of success. But when the kinks come about, we abandon it instead of working together and working out the kinks. May God continue to bless us all. Look, family, this COVID thing is not going to be if it's not God's will. I don't have the typical symptoms that everybody else gets. I don't have a fever. Do I cough? Yes, I cough. Is my body hurting? Yes, my body is hurting. But my God is a just God, and I believe that. The work that he allowed me to do, I don't think he's done with me. So I'll continue to hydrate, but I can't take a break on bringing our people together because I'm under the weather. Oh, hell no. No. I'll take a break when y'all bury me 6 feet deep. That's my break. Other than that, I'm devoted to bringing my people together. Not for ching for Mike. I want a ching for us all. But I also want us to have the ching of being receptive of the ching mindset. We did this. And in order for us to thrive and prosper, our unity has to be at the forefront, coupled with the labor for ourselves. We didn't prove that we could work for everybody else. Let's work for ourselves. And the first job we do is come together and commit to being labeled with one another and going after our people. You Christians. Jesus said, if any man will be a disciple, he'll be a fisher of men. Go out and fish your people. And don't give them no fish. Teach them how to fish so they can eat for a lifetime and not that day. May God continue to bless us. I hope that this message received you in a good spirit and with a good heart. And I thank you for your time and listening, even if you entertain us.